Hi, ladies. Hope you're all doing well. I had a message this week about judging others and how we speak about others. So interesting, which I actually did not know was something that happens when our kids hear us judging others. So, of course, we know there's benefits to judging favorably, as the last week's Pirkei Elul said, so timely, which is when we're in the 3 weeks that we're trying to improve our relationships and we're trying to improve how we feel, how we act, and how we think about others. This past Shabbos, Pirkei Avos was Have Kol Adam L'Kav Zechus. And I heard this incredible story from Rebbetzin Atara Haber, and I also wanted to share the impact of judging others in front of our children. So let's start with this story first. There was this very incredible family that was planning a wedding for their daughter, but they did not have the funds for this wedding. And they were trying to figure it out. And the community realized that they struggled a lot in general, and now they were having a wedding. So, what happened? The community got together and they said, let's get together and collect money for this family so they can put together a beautiful, respectful, and wonderful simcha. They deserve it. So they all got together, they raised the money, and they gave it to them. And this family was in tremendous hakaras atov to the community. When they met with the caterer, they sat down and they said, listen, this is our budget, this is what we can do. And the caterer was schmoozing with them and they were discussing and they said, oh, I know your last name, where are you from? And they all of a sudden started playing Jewish geography and started talking to each other about their family last name. And all of a sudden the caterer, who was a woman, turned white and she stopped talking. And the family was a little bit confused to what had moved her from their family geography discussion. And she told them the following. She said, my parents were in the war, and they mentioned this person had saved them from the war, either in the camps. I don't know the exact details, but she said, I'm sure this person that saved both of my parents is your father. And there was this intense silence in the room. They said, are you sure? What do you mean? She said, yes, from this town, from this city. This is the last name. Right, your father had this many siblings, right? And everything lined up. And the caterer said, I am in so much akar satov that your father saved my parents in the war. I am going to do something really nice for your wedding. And the family was uncomfortable. They said, no, it's okay. Like, we're so happy. We're so grateful that our family was involved with your family and it's such a nice. But they said, no, it's okay. It's okay. They were very uncomfortable with the whole idea. But she said, no, let me do something nice for you. So they said, amazing. Let's do something nice. They thought maybe she's going to do an extra dessert, an extra side dish, something nice. But no, they get to the wedding. The kal's getting ready. They get to the hall. And the entire hall is decorated like the most lavish wedding they had ever seen. They had beautiful courses, beautiful meals, meat, fish for the first course, soups, salads, and the family was in so much shock about what was going on. But the caterer told them something. She said, please, please, please don't tell anybody that I'm doing something nice for you. He said, okay, we're not going to tell anybody that you're throwing in an extra side dish. But she went above and beyond and did this incredible wedding for them. And they were so full of gratitude. This is an incredible story, right? But the community was not so happy. They put together all this money for this struggling family, and all of a sudden they get to this wedding, and it's the most lavish, luxurious wedding they had ever seen. And they're thinking, what is wrong with these people? We put together this money, and look, they actually didn't even need this money. Who drapes the walls like this? Who puts this many courses and this many side dishes? And everyone was talking and talking and talking and talking throughout the wedding. And unfortunately, their perspective was so wrong. The family could barely put together the money to get a chuppah, never mind pay for people's meals. But this incredible story took place behind the scenes. When we're working on judging others, we need to work behind the scenes and think, how am I going to think about this person? What is the most creative way that I can understand that something is going on here? And Rebbetzin Heber said something that I think is so brings so much peace. She said, if you don't want to waste your mental energy getting creative, because sometimes you have to get creative. When something looks wrong, when someone acts wrong, you're like, well, the only way that this could make sense is X, Y, Z. And you have to all of a sudden create this intense story that makes no sense. She said, just save your mental energy and say, they must have a good reason for this. We don't have to all of a sudden be storytellers and authors in our brain. It's a waste of mental energy. She said, you could just say, you know what? There's something I don't get here. This is really nice. Or there's something that doesn't look nice, but there's something I don't get here. They must have a really good reason for this. Beyond that, Sarah Chana Radcliffe shared in her parenting posts that the way you speak about others actually impacts your relationship to your own kid. So if I'm on the phone and I say, oh, I can't with this person, or if I respond in traffic like, what is wrong with this lady? The child feels a sense of judgment. I'm in a judge zone. I'm basically in a court. And the same way that my parent judges people around her, she's also probably judging me. And it impacts the child's self-confidence and security. Just to recap, we are in charge of the behind the scenes in our mind. If we cannot think of a story, we can just say, there must be a good reason for this. And with our own relationships as a plus, when we soften and just stop being the detectives, we allow our children to see a soft, peaceful, comfortable home where their mistakes are welcome and they are happy to be who they are. Wishing you a beautiful day.